Hey everybody, I'm Melanie, and today I'm gonna do a storytime video that I normally do whenever I go to a wrestling event. How I do these videos is I just talk about my experience, like either my reactions or what I thought during certain points of matches, and I just do my makeup while we do it so I don't look as bad as I do now. And I would try to do like a theme. So today I'm gonna do a theme where it's gonna be Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. I'm gonna do one side kind of like Blackpool Combat Club colors or like their logo. I'm gonna do that for the Elite side with bright colors and all that. So let's just get started on it. I went to Double or Nothing here in Vegas a few days ago because I'm filming this video like 3 days after. Yeah, like about 2 or 3 days. Well, technically it's 11 o'clock at night right now, so it's almost gonna be like 3 days. But yeah, so I went to that, and I'll just talk about, if I forget some stuff, I'm sorry. It's just a lot of things happen when you're there and just everything. So yeah, let's just get started. There was only 2 matches that were official. Everything else was just added like the Wednesday beforehand or something like that, like at least the week before. A lot of people were talking about how the arena was empty and not a lot of people went, or was it sold out? Okay, I can tell you guys it was not sold out. The opposite hard cam side, so the side that the camera sees, it was pretty much full. It was full like kind of on the top here. However, once it actually like curved around and starting to go to the hard cam side, it started to be a little bit more emptier. And then the actual like section that has the hard cam, it wasn't as full. Like it was only like maybe like a quarter full. It really wasn't that much. And the top of the, what is it, the the upper level behind the hard cam side was completely blocked off, like with the black curtain thing that they do. So yeah, it wasn't as full as last year. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because maybe the card was announced late, meaning like I told you guys, like it took a while for the card to actually be announced, or maybe not a lot of people were into this one this year. I don't really know. The buy-in match was the Hardys with Hook against the Guns and Ethan Page. I haven't been watching Rampage because I have been having to work at night, so I've been missing a lot of Rampage. So I guess this match was made official on an episode of Rampage, if I remember correctly. I figured once they added Hook to the match, it means they're gonna win, right? It still was a pretty decent match, but like I said, it was pretty obvious that the Hardys and Hook were gonna win. People kept chanting "ass boys" throughout the match. It was pretty funny. The next match was the 21-man blackjack match. That took a little bit for me to say. What I heard was some of the wrestlers were taken out of the match, like Hobbs, and who else got taken out? QT Marshall? I don't know. I just remember at least Hobbs was taken out. I thought Miro was actually supposed to be in the match, but he wasn't in it. So, I don't know. So several people got taken out. The entrances were done before the actual pay-per-view started, if I remember correctly. Like everyone started kind of coming out like within the first 5 or 6 minutes. I either thought that Orange Cassidy was going to retain, or I wanted Jay White to win, Ricky Starks to win. I guess Miro's not the option. So I was like, okay, it's either going to be Orange Cassidy, Ricky Starks, or Jay White. I know that Jay White and Juice Robinson were feuding with Ricky Starks, so I figured they were gonna like mess around with each other majority of the match. I'll be honest, this match was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. I thought it was just gonna be kind of like whatever, but it actually was like pretty good. I like the spots with the Lucha Bros, Bandito, Commander, I think. And they were, what was it? They were super kicking Brian Cage, if I remember correctly. I think. I have to like look at the highlights for the pay-per-view because I'm not gonna buy the pay-per-view just so I can remember everything. And I figured that Swerve and Keith Lee were gonna like reignite their previous feud. Once it got between Orange Cassidy and Swerve, their matchup was like pretty good. So there was a point where Swerve had Orange Cassidy like on his knees or something, and Swerve put Orange Cassidy's hands in his pockets like how Orange Cassidy does. And there was like a guy somewhere in my section that yelled out, "Why is he putting his hands in his pockets?" And somebody next to him, I don't know if it was the same person in his group or not, I'm not sure, but someone said, "Oh, he's just putting his hands in his pockets because that's Orange Cassidy." And the one guy was like, "Oh, I thought he was gonna insert sexual reference here." So yeah, just to let you know that that's what I heard. When Orange Cassidy kind of just did that little like kick on Swerve's hand, it was like, oh, you know, the crowd went pretty crazy, and it was still a lot better. I was surprised at how good it actually was. So I don't remember the order of the matches. I'm just gonna go off based off of what I see here. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. This was gonna be Jade's 60th win. You know what, Jade's probably gonna win this, but then there was also a slight chance that I thought that Taya Valkyrie was gonna win, because it's Taya, and it seemed like Taya was honestly like one of the biggest competition that Jade has had compared. I mean, Jade's fought like other amazing women wrestlers too, but I felt like this time around like Taya was gonna be like the closest we'd ever see, you know, Jade losing. Spoiler ahead if you have not watched it, but you guys probably already know by now because it's already been several days. So this was before the whole return happened, but we'll get there in a second. I had a feeling though that Jade was gonna kick out when Taya was gonna try to use the same finisher, so I had a pretty close feeling. When Jade won, that's the match. Then what's his name? Mark Sterling, right? Mark Sterling, I think Mark Sterling. When he was talking about how she's beaten every possible like women wrestler or something, like pretty much she's beaten the women's roster in AEW. As he was saying this, you saw like the camera crew for AEW kind of start going up the ramp, and then they stop halfway, so you know that someone's coming out. That's the main thing. Everybody else around me was standing up like kind of freaking out, because it's like you could tell someone's gonna come back, right? I read somewhere that Kris Statlander was supposed to be the one to beat Jade a while ago, but because she got injured, they kept it on Jade and just waited for Kris to recover. I had like a slight feeling that it was gonna be Kris Statlander. Guess what? It was Kris Statlander, and your girl here like freaked out, because I was like, this is the time for Kris to come back. Did I think that she was actually going to have a match? No, I did not think that. I thought that Kris was just gonna come out and just like confront her, and then that was gonna be it, and then you just save that for like Forbidden Door or something like that. But nope, we got a match between Jade and Kris Statlander. I'm sorry, I like Kris Statlander. Jade Cargill, she's an amazing athlete and she looks fabulous, you know, but honestly, like I love Kris Statlander. She's amazing. I actually recorded a video of her winning, of Kris Statlander winning, and I screamed. I didn't post it to Instagram because last year I had videos that I posted from Double or Nothing, and Instagram was being a poo-poo head and decided to remove my videos. I was freaking out a lot, and when they did all like confetti for her and was like a really big huge celebration, it was like, whoa, it was super cool. I haven't practiced this look, so I'm just kind of winging it here, to be honest. The AEW Women's Championship match between Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. I saw reports that Jamie Hayter was actually injured, and that they were debating about actually canceling the match or not, kept going back and forth saying like, oh, it's canceled, oh, it's canceled, oh wait, it might not be canceled. But then they kept promoting it that it actually was still gonna go on. So I didn't really know what to expect. From what I heard too was that it was supposed to be like her arm was injured or something. How are they gonna do this if she is injured, right? They had Toni Storm come out first, and then they had Jamie Hayter. They played her music, and the crowd went pretty crazy, but she didn't come out. And I'm like, okay, play the music again. And she comes out with getting beat up by Saraya and Ruby, and I'm like, okay, this is how they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it to where she's already getting beat up, and then they're just gonna continue to beat on her. They had Britt come out to help at some point, but it still didn't work. Sheeta came out to help, if I remember correctly, before I forget. Jamie kept kicking out. I was like, okay, are they really not gonna take the title off of her? Does that mean, like, you know, is she not as banged up to where like she could still wrestle? You know, like maybe they can just write her off TV for like a couple weeks or something, because I didn't really know the extent of the injury. All I know is that I read that she couldn't wrestle. That she wasn't medically cleared to wrestle. Toni wins. And you guys should have seen the crowd. The crowd's faces was like, if Jamie can get well pretty soon, like pretty quickly, then she could definitely come back when they go to London. The TNT Championship match between Wardlow and Christian. So the crowd was actually pretty funny, because if you're wondering why I'm doing blue, it's because of their Titantron. At some point the crowd was chanting turtleneck, turtleneck, because Christian was wearing a turtleneck. There was one point during the match where Wardlow was trying to stop Christian from getting the title, and Wardlow jumps from the top of the turnbuckle onto the ladder, and the ladder breaks. I just felt bad because he jumped on it. I actually thought that he was gonna land on it pretty perfectly, but then it just, one of the legs of the ladder just broke. Luchasaurus came out, and then Arn Anderson ended up coming out later. He like bit him, and then like Luchasaurus's fingers like bleeding. Wardlow did like a swanton bomb, if I remember correctly. Was it swanton bomb? That he did a swanton bomb, I think, onto Luchasaurus on top of the tables. It was like, I am happy he retained the AEW World Tag Team Championships with FTR against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. At this point, well, I don't really know. It kind of seemed like the crowd really wasn't into the match, but it kind of started picking up after Mark Briscoe was taken out, and because I think he got hit with the guitar, right? After he got taken out, and I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. It's gonna be the spot where they can do all crazy stuff, right? To be honest, I thought it wasn't gonna hurt him, like story-wise. I didn't think it was going to. Aubrey Edwards comes out. Karen Jarrett hits her. Karen Jarrett hits Aubrey Edwards with the guitar. And I'll be honest, I did not expect that to happen. When it did happen, I was like, oh, did that actually happen? Either Mark Briscoe's gonna get up, or they're gonna bring in another ref. It's gonna be one or the other. House of Black versus the Acclaimed for the AEW Trios Championship. You guys are probably gonna ask me, Melanie, what did you think about Max Caster's rap about Dominic? When he said the line about Dominic, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh my god, he actually said that. And if you don't already know, Buddy Matthews is dating Rhea Ripley in real life. Every time Buddy Matthews went into the ring to wrestle, like if he got tagged in or something, the crowd was chanting Dominic, Dominic. They were chanting, who's your mommy, who's your mommy. You know when you're popular, and you know when you're big when you're getting chanted from the opposite company. My friend that I went with told me that it was going to be on the card, and I was like, I don't remember them announcing it, but I guess it was on the card. They did pretty well, but I didn't think the House of Black was gonna lose. I figured that they were gonna retain. The unsanctioned match. Let's sit tight for this one, shall we? Just kidding. On Dynamite, when they said that Sabu was gonna be the special enforcer, Sabu, like, that was kind of like random. The JAS was getting into it with Sabu and Roderick Strong. Sabu lands on top of the tables and it's like, and then like they all disappeared at some point. It's like, okay. There is one point where they bring in the fire extinguisher, which is pretty funny to have the fire extinguisher in a match. It's just pretty funny. I think it was the same person that made the you know what comment about Orange Cassidy and Swerve. Jericho had Adam Cole in the walls of Jericho, and the guy shouted, grab his, insert sexual reference here. It's like, okay dude, okay, we get it. And then Britt Baker comes out with a kendo stick, if I remember correctly, and then she starts beating up on Jericho, and then Saraya came out. But the ending of the match is, I know what people are probably gonna ask me what I thought of the ending. So I figured that Adam Cole was gonna win. I don't know about the finish. It's like, I don't know. I guess, I mean, you could have had Adam Cole like pin Jericho or tap him out or something, but like when you have the referee stop the match, but it's supposed to be an unsanctioned match, right? You have her stop the match and have Adam Cole win, but it's an unsanctioned match. Like, you know, it's like, I don't really get it. I guess a lot of people online have said that that match was the worst one of the night. I guess it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. You know, so, I mean, you know, it's still fun, but I don't know. I guess because I expected it to be a little bit better, but, you know. It was the 4 Pillars match with MJF, the champion, defending against Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. When Sammy came out with Ty, and they were saying, like with their cards, that they were saying that they had an announcement to make, I had a pretty good feeling that it was going to be that they were going to announce like they were going to have a baby. I'm not saying he's a terrible human being, but I'm just not like a really huge fan of him. But I still cheer for him because it's like, I get really happy when people say that they're having a baby. Like, I get really happy for everybody. I thought this segment with Darby Allin, like beating up the standee of MJF, was like the most funniest thing ever. MJF on his like throne. They had him already sitting in the chair, like the throne, and then the throne just lifted up, like while they were showing Darby Allin. I felt like MJF was gonna retain. Their match was really, really good, guys. Like, I was pretty much into it majority of the time. I just thought it was funny that they would like gang up on MJF and just like beat him up, and then they all focus on each other. Jungle Boy, or Jack Perry, and Darby Allin and Sammy were like gonna do something on the turnbuckle, and then they like landed on top of MJF. So that was pretty funny. All 4 of them were each put in a submission. So I thought that was a pretty cool move. A lot of the crowd was chanting "Fight Forever" during the match. MJF was telling Sammy like, oh, just lay down. You need the money for your new baby. For your baby on the way. I don't know why I said it like that. Honestly, like, that match really did showcase like all of them as legit pillars of AEW. I think that would probably be like match of the night for me, in my opinion, compared to everything else. My friend that I went with told me that he overheard people talking about Simon Miller from Woke Culture. If you don't know what Woke Culture is, it's a YouTube brand on here, and they have different like brands of other stuff, but there's one specifically for wrestling, and there's a YouTube personality on there named Simon Miller, and he does this thing where he does ups and downs for the channel, like, oh, this is an up for the show, this is a down for the show, and he talks about like all their different wrestling shows and stuff. He ended up being in my section. Someone started chanting, Simon Miller, Simon Miller, and it was pretty funny because then he started like laughing because he was just like so happy that like people were cheering for him. And it happened about 2 or 3 times during the pay-per-view. Pretty fun fact. And no, I didn't wait to like go say hi to him or something because he was like pretty down far from my row. So I didn't want to like go all the way down there just to say hi. And then I don't know when he started filming for his video. Anarchy in the Arena match. As you guys know, last year I went to AEW Double or Nothing. I also did a Storytime video for that. I'll link it down below for you guys if you guys want to go watch it, or if you guys haven't seen it yet. During that match, I pretty much stood up for the entire time. So this time around, I told myself I'm gonna prepare to have to stand for this entire match. The Elite came out first, and then the Blackpool Combat Club came out second, and they had a live band playing the song. That match was like so crazy, like oh my god, guys. Last year's was like all over the place is what it felt like, to where it was so hard for me to keep track of everything that was going on in the arena. They were literally like all over different spots, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be looking at? But this year was a lot more easier to keep track of, because majority of the time they were in the ring. I'm trying to remember everything that they did. I don't remember exactly who. I want to say it was Bryan Danielson, but I don't remember exactly which person it was. But like someone threw a chair at the referee, which is how the referee started bleeding. They brought in a leaf blower. I think it was a leaf blower. I don't really remember exactly, but I think it was a leaf blower. Moxley slammed Kenny Omega onto the spiked chip for the Double or Nothing logo. I think that's like the one that's like white and red. Claudio did the swing. Claudio like slams, like body slams or something. Matt Jackson? I don't know. I can't remember which one. I think it was Matt Jackson. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, like he like body slammed him inside of the bed of a truck. Thumbtacks was like, oh my gosh, that was like super painful to watch. Matt landing on him, he like landed on top of the thumbtacks with his feet, which was pretty painful, and they stuck thumbtacks in his mouth, and then Claudio did an uppercut. It was like, oh my god. Like Matt Jackson, I think, did a super kick, and the super kick like exploded into like a firework, because I think he put like a firework on his shoe or something like that. Oh my gosh, there was just so much. They were getting like cords out and like choking each other out. The heel turn for Takeshita, I didn't really expect that, to be honest, because with the Anarchy in the Arena match, I had a feeling that it was going to be, I mean, I thought it could go either way, but I didn't think that there was going to be a heel turn involved like that. People are speculating online that the Forbidden Door 2 is going to be the Elite against the Blackpool Combat Club again, but now with Takeshita, and people are suspecting that the Elite's gonna call in like Kota Ibushi or something. So that, or they might get like Okada. I don't know, they'll get somebody to help them, so we'll see. But the story is not yet over, guys. I know some people online too were like upset that the music was playing for like the first like half of the match, but I didn't mind it, to be honest. It was like an homage to the first one from last year, so I really didn't care. But yeah, it was still really good. This is the final look that I did. So I did more bright colors for the Elite. I did pink and purple, I did blue, I did like a turquoise or something, teal, whatever. I did a light blue, kind of blended it out with the white. And I have a little bit of blue here, a white eyeliner, and I have pink lips. And then I decided to do the white, black, and then red. It's supposed to look kind of like their logo with the fist has like the BCC, and then it has like the red lettering around, so that's kind of what it's supposed to mimic. I don't know, I tried, and then I did black and red lips for it. So that was my look for today. I'm gonna tell you guys my final thoughts for this. I feel like the best matches of the night was probably the 4 Pillars match, was probably my favorite match. And then the Battle Royale match, the Blackjack match, was actually better than I thought it was, and that was like really, really fun. Jade and Taya actually did pretty good too for, even though, you know, Jade lost to Kris Statlander. But Kris Statlander's back. The AEW Women's Championship match was, I mean, going into it, knowing what's going on in real life, I'm not like really, really upset about it. It's just, I don't know. I think it could have been done a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird. Wardlow and Christian was pretty good too. Like, it wasn't like all these like too crazy moves going on. It was just a couple of things, and poor Wardlow with the ladder. At least he's okay. At least he's okay. That's all that matters. The House of Black and Acclaimed was pretty good too, even though I didn't know that it was going to be on the card until the day of. But that one was still pretty good. I love House of Black. You guys know I love all my spooky people. Buy-in match was pretty decent too. So that, and I just cracked my wrist because I'm weird. Because I'm old, just kidding. The unsanctioned match, I think that was my least favorite. I mean, I'm not really going to count Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm because of the circumstances of what was going on. But to be honest, like, the unsanctioned match was not my favorite match. It was probably like my least favorite. Not saying that Adam Cole's a terrible wrestler, not saying Chris Jericho's a terrible wrestler and everybody else involved. It's just, I don't know. It wasn't really, I don't know. Compared to everything else, definitely not my favorite match of the night. Anarchy in the Arena was definitely crazy as always. Kris Statlander returning. Wardlow breaking a ladder. Anarchy in the Arena match with the thumbtacks. And exploding super kick. Aubrey Edwards getting hit with the guitar. That's pretty much the highlights that I have. I mean, the Four Pillars match was great too. Like, there's so much in there, guys. Like, I can't name everything that happened in there that was really good. Before I forget to, they were teasing Jungle Boy Jack Perry kind of turning heel on Darby Allin, which, to be honest, that reminded me of last year when they had CM Punk and Hangman when he had the belt. MJF totally did the heel thing where he like threw the belt in there. I'm remembering everything as I'm talking, sorry. I thought it was a good heel move for him to throw the belt on top of Jungle Boy Jack Perry, so that way Darby Allin, when he did his coffin drop, would land and then he pinned him. To be honest, I didn't think that Darby Allin was going to get pinned. Overall, for this pay-per-view, I had a good time. It was entertaining. I get entertained regardless of anything, but I just felt like there was only a few matches that I felt like super invested in, and some of the other ones was kind of just like, eh. Overall, it was fun. My next video, I know I have a WWE shop unboxing video coming up soon. I don't know if this video is going to be uploaded before that one or not. I'm not really sure because this one's going to take me a while to edit, to be honest. But I have that one, and then I also have a Pro Wrestling Tees unboxing video too. It hasn't been shipped yet, but I did make an order. I hope I didn't forget anything. I was trying really hard to think about stuff, like trying to think about like what happened in the moment. Oh, and if you're wondering why I did not get a t-shirt, because I'm wearing this one from my last Pro Wrestling Tees unboxing video that I did before this one. If you're wondering why I don't have a Double or Nothing event t-shirt from there, so their t-shirts were $50. $50. Yeah, I was not paying $50 for a t-shirt. They do sell the t-shirts, like the same event shirts. You can get those on Pro Wrestling Tees and I think on Shop AEW, but it doesn't have I Was There on there. So I'm pretty much paying $50 for a t-shirt that says I was there. I mean, I get it, that's the whole point, but yeah, just $50, guys. Like, imagine if you were getting 2 or more for your family. That's more than $100. To be honest, like the t-shirts, I usually think they're about like $35 to $40 at events, but $50, like, not for me. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys like videos like this, please like this video and let me know that you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel so you guys know when a new video comes out. I do videos like this all the time. I do the story times for whenever I go to wrestling events, and I do makeup videos from time to time. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!